it almost looks like it could start raining in some spots. I actually tried to make some changes yesterday technically, and holy cow, just that weather thing or whatever slows the computer down so much. Gotta figure a way, I guess, around it. And some thoughts later on, but I guess at first, what did I read today? Seems like it's kind of a lot of negative stuff in terms of war again, right after the New Year's. Is it one of those things again where after a holiday, everyone's back at it? This one says, drone fired by Russia at Kyiv allegedly had Happy New Year message. How's that if it's true? So if this is accurate, you can read this post here. It says, here she is, part of the night greeting from the brotherly people, Happy New Year. You can say and cheap and tasteless, a real orca. I think this is all translated too, that's why it's kind of, I guess, weird sounding. It says, and these wreckage are not in front where the fierce fights are going on. They are here in the playground where children play. This is all you need to know about the terrorist state and its army. Thanks to the units of Air Defense Zoo for the excellent result. Without your professional work, the morning would not be so good. I ask all citizens not to ignore the air alarm signal. Always go to the shelter. If you see or hear aerial objects, report the 102 special line. So I don't know if that is accurate, but that is kind of cruel. That's true, where you send like these bombs or drones or whatever with this Happy New Year message. Again, I don't know if it's true, but that's kind of crazy, where every time it seems like after the holidays, let's get back to fighting and so forth. Although this was kind of interesting to read, where apparently there were national parks actually testing out drones to use. It says here, Kuno National Park, drones of 3 companies were tested. The authorities at Kuno National Park have tested thermal drones of 3 companies and found the drone of only 1 company satisfactory. Effects are underway to purchase modern thermal drone camera from the selected company. Now this is in India, I believe, and if you guys remember, they wanted to essentially stop people from importing drones from other countries, so they're encouraging local growth. And it says the cost of modern thermal drone camera is between Rs15 lakh to Rs20 lakh. Kuno Park has 3 drones. 2 of them are for day patrolling, and a third that has been borrowed from Sanjay Tiger Reserve has to be returned. And according to them again, it says they tested multiple drone cameras of 3 Indian companies, and it says the picture quality of 2 of the other companies was found unsatisfactory. Picture quality of the drone of the 3rd company was satisfactory, a Kuno Park official said. Now I would imagine it's because they are trying to build their own stuff versus going with a company who's already established somewhere else, for example, like in China. But I guess that might be a good plan for them, where they get all the kinks and so forth out early on, and then later on they can rely everything on themselves versus trying to import technology elsewhere. Especially with all this war story and stuff like that too, you want to be semi, I guess, independent as well, correct? And some thoughts of the video editing and all that. As mentioned, just adding some of those new features or testing them out, like that weather stuff. Holy, it made the computer so slow. I was supposed to upgrade the computer like what, over a year ago, but then things happen with availability and all that. And I was just thinking, because in terms of trying to add some new stuff and all that, I mentioned before, I was thinking of a way to change, I guess, some of the editing, the presentation. It should work better overall in the long run, but I'm just thinking one thing might have to change in that aspect is how sometimes you're used to seeing things, for example, like the animals and all that, and people think it's very therapeutic, or the long drone videos. And I was thinking I might have to break it up and make it more, I guess, cohesive with what I'm trying to show. I guess a great example would be, imagine yesterday with the polar bear swim. I did it with the way I'm used to doing it. Basically, whatever happens in the day, at the end you have the big video and stuff and all that. But I think it would make more sense if it actually was put all together. For example, all the polar bear stuff was within the polar bear stuff. Or imagine kind of like that day when I was just walking and talking about stuff that I read, and then all of a sudden the bird just flew in just like that. Now imagine if part of the video, I guess, for the day where you only saw the animals, I guess, sporadically in that way. Would you, I guess, still find joy in that? Because again, I was reading how some people found it very therapeutic, meditative per se. So I think that's great if people benefit in that way. But how would people feel about that? Because I'm just thinking in the future, again, I don't have the right gear and stuff to do it, like all the time lapse and all that, but that might be the way to go. How would people feel about that? Potentially, any input? right, see you guys later.